Welcome back. I am your host, Elle. Let's get into it.
Renting in America is our topic for today. Not just the how-to, but the reality of it. What it actually means to live as a renter right now in this economy, in this social landscape. This isn't a guide. It's a conversation about a state of being for over a third of the country. If you own your home, you probably think about renting as a phase, a stepping stone, something you did in your 20s before you settle down. But that story is outdated. For millions of Americans, renting isn't a phase, it's the permanent reality. It's young professionals in their 30s. It's families with school-age kids. It's retirees on fixed incomes who sold their house but can't afford to buy another. The face of the American renter has changed, but the systems, the laws, and the cultural narrative around it haven't quite caught up. So let's start with the foundation: cost. The old financial rule was that you shouldn't spend more than 30% of your gross income on housing. It's a neat government-endorsed line, and for a huge number of renters, it's a fantasy. We have terms now like cost-burdened and severely cost-burdened for those spending over 30% or 50% of their income on rent. These aren't just statistics. They're descriptors of daily stress. It's the calculation that happens in the grocery aisle. If I get the cheaper pasta, that's $3 I can put toward the electric bill this month. Rent isn't just a line item. It's the gravitational force that bends all other financial decisions. It's a perfect storm. On one side, a decades-long shortage of housing, especially missing middle housing, duplexes, townhomes, modest apartment buildings. Zoning laws in vast swaths of suburban America effectively outlaw building anything but single-family homes. On the other side, demand has surged. Younger generations are larger than we sometimes think, and they're all entering the housing market at once. Then you layer on financialization. Large institutional investors buying up single-family homes in apartment complexes, seeing housing not as shelter, but as an asset class. The goal is return on investment. That dynamic fundamentally changes the relationship between who provides the roof and who lives under it. This brings us to the central relationship: landlord and tenant. This is a power dynamic, and in most places, the balance is written into law, and it tilts heavily. The lease is a take-it-or-leave-it contract, often filled with legalese. Security deposits can be a mountain of cash to scrape together first month, last month, and a deposit is often 3 times the rent just to get the keys. And getting it back, that's a battle fought after you've already left, when your leverage is gone. Then there's the process itself, the application. It can feel less like applying for a home and more like applying for security clearance, credit checks, background checks, income verification requiring you to make 3, sometimes 4 times the monthly rent. You need references from previous landlords. For anyone with a blemish, a medical debt that hurts your credit, a past eviction, a gap in employment, the door slams shut. It creates a system where having a perfect financial history isn't just helpful, it's a prerequisite for basic shelter. And what's the alternative? The informal market, renting a room, a basement, dealing with a landlord who might not report things but also might not fix anything. It's precarious. And let's talk about that word, habitability. It's a legal term. Your landlord is required to provide a place that is safe and livable. Work in heat,
running water, no mold or pests. But enforcement is almost entirely on the tenant. You have to report it, you have to document it, you might have to navigate a city housing inspector. And there's the fear, spoken or unspoken, of retaliation, of a rent hike at the next renewal or a non-renewal notice altogether. So people live with the drip that becomes a leak, the window that doesn't quite close, the burner on the stove that doesn't work. The threshold for this is bad enough to risk my housing is tragically high. Contrast this with the cultural image of renting. In pop culture, the renter's apartment is often the cool apartment. It's where friends hang out in the city. It's a symbol of freedom and flexibility. And that's true for a slice of renters. The freedom to move for a job is a real economic advantage. But for many, the flexibility feels less like freedom and more like instability. You are, in essence, on a one-year lease. Every 12 months, you face a potential reset, a rent increase you can't afford, a decision by the owner to sell, a feeling that you have to uproot your life. How do you put down roots in a community, in a school system, when your foundation is an annual contract?
You don't paint the walls. You think twice about buying bulky furniture. You live with a subconscious asterisk on your sense of home.
This is especially profound for renter families. Your child's school district is tied to an address you only control for the length of your lease. The stability we associate with childhood, the same bedroom, the same backyard, the same bus stop, is contingent on the landlord's business decision. It adds a layer of chronic uncertainty to the already difficult job of raising kids. And what about the future? The classic American wealth building tool has been home equity. You buy a house, you pay down a mortgage, you build an asset. For renters, every rent payment is an expense. It builds no equity. It builds someone else's equity. So you're not just paying more in the short term relative to a mortgage in many cases. You're missing out on the primary engine of intergenerational wealth transfer in this country. This isn't just a monthly budget issue. It's a lifelong generational financial trajectory issue. The renter is often funneling their greatest monthly expense into a system that offers them no ownership stake in return. There are, of course, policy ideas floating in the system. Rent control exists in a handful of cities and states, fiercely debated as either a vital protection or a disincentive to build new housing. Voucher programs like Section 8 are lifelines for those who get them, but waiting lists are years long, even decades. There's a push to loosen zoning to allow more density, more housing types. There are right to counsel movements in eviction courts because 90% of landlords have lawyers and 90% of tenants do not. There are calls for transparency in rental pricing and fees. These are all levers being pulled with varying degrees of success and political will. But at its core, the American rental experience today is defined by a tension between the economic necessity of providing shelter for a massive portion of the population and the financialization of that shelter. It's the tension between seeing an apartment as a home and seeing it as a revenue stream. The person living there is navigating this tension every day. They are a resident, but also a consumer. They are building a life within walls they do not own, under rules they did not write, subject to economic forces far beyond their control. It's a state of calculated impermanence. You make it a home, but you guard your heart a little. You hang pictures, but maybe with the removable hooks. You know the exact cost,
down to the dollar of your right to occupy that space for one more month, and you are always quietly doing the math in your head. Can I afford to stay? What if the rent goes up? What's my plan? Renting in America has shifted from a simple transaction to a defining state of being, where your finances and peace of mind rest on someone else's property. This isn't a choice, it's a trap.
Until next time.